welcome back to Total Spotfest. This is JJ Brownlee. That right there, that is JB Faulkner. We're coming back at you with another episode here. Another weekend of wrestling. We had lots of stuff going on. GCW had their homecoming. Is Effie the new champion? We don't know. Well, we do know. But you might not know. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know. I want to thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for joining us. If you are checking us out on YouTube, drop a comment down below. It helps us out quite a bit, honestly. Just engage. Give us a comment. Give us a thumbs up. If you like what you see, you can subscribe and hear more. If you're listening to us, thank you for lending us your ears. You can join the conversation by hitting us up on Twitter at Total Spotfest. Jamie, how has your week been?
Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. It's been kind of like I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop,
It's like it's too good. Things are going on. It's like beautiful weather out. It's good stuff happening. Kids are going back to school, so you've got like peace and quiet during the day. Something's got to happen, right? Are your kids back in school as of right now, or Monday? So. They're getting close. They're right around the corner there. So I don't have that problem. So whatever.
Yeah, fair.
Kid can do whatever the F I want, Phil. But regardless, we got to talk about some wrestling. So last night was Dynamite, which we're going to get to because we have lots of things to say about that. We do want to give a quick shout out though for next Friday night. So at 8 p.m., not 7 like it usually is, but 8 p.m. under the night sky at Lemonade Park in West Bottoms, beautiful Kansas City, Missouri, is Journey Pro's Weekend at Journeys 2. They never came up with a surname, did they? Jamie's thinking hard.
I don't know.
For those listening.
I don't know.
I don't think they did. They really should have, but Weekend at Journeys 2. Do I got you like mind flummoxed now? You're like really
a little, yeah. Sorry, there's just a little bit of dead air there, everybody. I'm sorry, like brain just like stopped.
Well, you would think there would be because like we get Journeys 2 further down the Walter hole. I don't know.
Yeah, dead Walter. Like something.
I mean, they have dead Walter on the fucking promo photo, so there's that. Walter, we love you, by the way, and Walter is not dead. We will actually get to see Walter as a fan this time. How cool is that going to be?
Hopefully, he sits with us and does a Lion Tamer chant with me.
Well, I think it'd be easy because Journey Pro rules bring your own chair. We could just take our chairs and pick him up and go find his ass.
That's true. And I did say I was gonna roll solo to this, and you were my Chewy, is what you said. I thought that was apropos.
Got you.
But no. Well, we are bringing the one, the only, the Megan with us, and this will be Megan's first Journey Pro show. So that's gonna be lots of fun.
champion. All right.
She's owned you for years.
Not lately. That's you.
Just me.
But I'll take that. I'll make that concession because you and I are the same age. We are grown-ass men together. Getting beat by a now 16-year-old child, starting when she was 13, mind you. Like, that's the worst, Like, now it's almost like she's past puberty. She's in puberty, right? She's gone. She's an almost adult. But it was a 13-year-old girl just embarrassing me. That was the worst. But
yeah, that's pretty bad.
So another Faulkner being introduced to live Journey Pro Wrestling is going to be awesome. We got a few more announcements. So if you following along, if you do follow along with Journey Pro, you already know the main event is Jake Something versus Christian Rose for the Journey Pro Championship. We have
what's his name?
Something, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
No one can. No. Great story. If you haven't checked it out, go listen to our last episode. We talked about that.
Yeah, it was great.
Gary J taking on Luke Langley. And the match that, oh my God, just straight banger alert. JDX versus Darian Bankston. So.
Future of wrestling right there again.
Oh my God. You see JDX on Dark this week with his X-Men his Wolverine gear.
Dude, that's so good.
So good.
And then
I
he was Frontman.
well, he's teamed with Frontman, but then I saw shortly the day after they came out with an announcement that for the next Black Wrestlers Matter show, Jossie is going to be defending his BWM title against JDX. So
the rematch.
The rematch, because they were original. Yep. So yes, give me that. And if you haven't watched the first one of those, you can go find that on YouTube. Do some Google foo. It was.
Is that going to be in St. Louis or is that going to be in Chicago?
I think it's Chicago. I'm not 100% sure of that. I'm pretty sure
St. Louis. I might want to go see that.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but part of me, and correct me down below or online if I'm completely wrong, but part of me generally believes, Jamie's looking it up right now so you can correct me live and in person. Part of me believes, I think that's going on Chicago All Out Weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you are absolutely correct with that statement. September 2nd in Chicago.
All Out Weekend. Quick check. Is your wife still in a wedding? Is the wedding still going on?
The wedding is unfortunately still happening.
We wish you all the best, whoever the hell you are. But much years of love and happiness. But God damn you took my All Out Weekend.
Yeah, it's Jen's best friend, her sister. She's marrying her longtime partner. She, what's her name? I can't remember the girlfriend's name. But anyway,
that's not really important for this conversation.
It's not really important, but I was just saying, like, it's a big deal for her. So I was like,
I get it. I do. I am a staunchly single man, not necessarily by choice, but hey, woe is me, But anyway, we were talking earlier, and it's like the reality is my wallet thanks her, but God, there's so much good stuff happening. Anywho, so JDX, Darian Bankston, your future TV match, another future TV match going on there. Then they had some interesting developments at the beginning of the week. So a letter from the commission had surfaced, basically through Journey Pro against one Mr. Kenny Alfonso, who has, amongst other things, has violated the spirit of competition by battling outside the ring, using weapons other than one's own Missouri-sanctioned body to perform maneuvers and feats upon his opponents, and a bunch of other things, including super kicks with what we can only assume is a closed foot underneath a loaded boot.
Closed foot, ladies and gentlemen.
So is that like when you bend your toes in, kind of like when you're trying to grab like a sock off the ground? Is that a closed foot? Well, they came back with a handpicked opponent that Journey Pro is quick to sign as a match. So Kenny Alfonso, our boy Kenny, who they even make mention, and we've talked about this. You said this quite a bit, Jamie, in line to get that title shot. He is definitely making a beeline towards Christian Rose or whomever the champion is. Not too distant future.
Yes.
But going against the commission's own hand-picked representative, Kevin Blackwood. And if you don't know who Kevin Blackwood is, pause this video, open a new tab, do some Google foo, because wow.
He's amazing, and he's a GCW regular. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Chris, you did good, bud. Chris, you did good. You did good.
Chris trying to like the post-Walter letdown, trying to prevent that, and you did fantastic so far. So that alone is good. I remember I was talking to our friend Val Pancakes, hey Val, on Effie's Monday Not Raw stream, and asking her if she's going to be in Kansas City for it. She unfortunately can't. She has other things going on that weekend. And I said, it's okay. I'll just cheer extra loud for you during the Kenny Alfonso Kevin Blackwood match. She goes, fuck, that sounds like a banger. It's like,
yeah. Not wrong.
Nothing else to be said there. So, also, we got some tag team action happening. The Reckoning. This time, Jeremy Wyatt and Jay Fowler. I got to double check out because it's like he's no longer Jay Fowler. Going up against the Premier, which I mean,
praise of the show.
Not the last show, but I mean, Premier's been doing this kind of like not necessarily total heel thing, really. You know.
Yeah, like face Premier is weird to me. Like it feels uncomfortable.
I like the begrudgingly face Premier though.
Yeah, that's more solid. That's more solid.
Oh, so that should be fun. That should be good times. And what's the way you put it there? It was dog water and baby buns versus soup and SK.
Bad buns.
Bad buns. Yeah, baby buns is Fowler's little one.
Yes.
And then the most recent one we got just yesterday was Moonshine Mantel going up against a returning Vinny Pacifico.
Yeah.
It's great to see Vinny for however long he cannot die in this match.
Like, this has Rocky IV vibes so bad.
Except you gotta throw the guy's nuts in instead of the towel because Vinny loves guys' nuts.
Yeah. Like, there's a chance it's going to go one other way. He's either going to be Apollo or he's going to be Rocky. I'm betting on he's going to be Apollo and not Rocky, and he's going to die.
I sure hope not. We love you, Vinny, but we shall see.
Which I am.
Last I checked, there are still tickets available. So Lemonade Park, it's a little bit more limited of a space. So there is a cap on tickets, unlike there's a cap technically at Agnes, but it's a massive open space. So until we get like 2,000-3,000 people, it doesn't matter. But last I checked, there are still tickets available. JourneyProKC.com, $25. Once again, night show, 8 p.m. start time. So just a little bit later, but it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. And right now, the weather's looking to be pretty solid. They're saying for the whole next week, it's going to be like low 80s. And then in the evenings, and overnight, it's going to get down to the 60s. So it's like
perfect wrestling weather.
Outdoor wrestling, Lemonade Park. Oh, man. If you've never been there, it's a great place to go in general. Fantastic concert spot, but we got good food there and beverages. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. So.
The one negative, and there's only one negative, is parking sucks.
Parking's a bitch. If only
especially on
they
Friday
would
night.
Well, the thing is, like, there's a gate right there to the I still call it Kemper, to the Kemper Arena lot. If they just open that up, use this one corner of that lot, perfect, right? But they won't do that. So whatever. All right. So that's Journey Pro. Come see some independent wrestling with us if you guys aren't doing anything, if you're going to be in and around Kansas City next Friday. If not, we do like to talk about independent wrestling on here. And every week we like to spotlight an independent wrestler that maybe you have heard of, maybe you haven't. So, Jamie, I am assuming you have prepared an independent wrestler for this week's Independent Wrestler Spotlight.
I did. I really did.
I had made you change your tense there. Ha-ha.
Yes, but I still flowed with it because
you still win.
That's what a professional does.
Jamie can conjugate, motherfuckers. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special, very, very special wrestler spotlight here. She is the current reigning, defending, undisputed. Sorry, Heidi. Triple L women's champion, the ephemeral queen, the exhibition of intrigue, Edith Surreal.
Ooh.
I want Edith on our show. Like, bad.
I'll take that. I also want to see Edith in Junior Pro for sure.
I'll take either. Like, I'm a simple man, I'll take whatever I can get there. But no, Edith is really damn good. Like really damn good. She's been all over the United States. Obviously, she's Triple L. She's based out of Philly. She's been trained by some of the best in the world by far. Orange Cassidy, Drew Gulak, Chuck Taylor, just to name a few.
Typical Philly crowd, sure.
Exactly. Yeah, she's at Worldwide, so that if that tells you anything.
Right.
But no, like she's been everywhere. She was at the one bad show that we don't talk about, where people didn't get paid, but like Kid Bandit, shout out Kid Bandit for stepping up and paying people. But yeah, no, Edith Surreal is awesome. You can follow her on Twitter and the Instagrams at Edith Surreal. Very simple there. Simply awesome. Great matches online. Hers and Heidi's was actually very good. It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it happened just last. Was that last Friday when Triple L had the last event?
Yeah, last Friday. And
Friday
she beat Heidi to get the title too. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that was. They got back and forth going, which is good fun. And Edith's got a great look about her. I love the face. The kind of like Mortal Kombat style, like face thing. I think she's been in GCW too a few times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and she's actually gonna be at she's gonna do the Enjoy Cup on August 4th with none other than Willow Nightingale. They're the Ephemeral Babes. I can't say that word. I'm sorry.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try myself. So you did great, Jamie.
EPHEMERL. Sorry.
Ephemeral?
Ephemeral. Got it.
There we go.
Ephemeral.
We can work through. We know English. We're conjugating. We're pronouncing stuff. We got this.
I can say Japanese names, but I can't say ephemeral.
You can't say
ephemeral.
that. You can't do like Mexican anything.
Yeah. If it's Latin, mount. Japanese.
But you get like this
Hungarian,
stuff here, and Jamie's just gonna go to town.
Yes.
Give her a follow. Links down below if you're watching for sure. I think if I'm not mistaken, and I'll have to double check this here, I think I saw her on a graphic for Effie's Big Gay Brunch. I'm sure she's going to be in Chicago on All Out Weekend either way. So she is definitely somebody that you probably, if you watch any independent wrestling, you have probably seen her in some capacity. And
yeah,
she does some damn good matches too. So cool. Speaking of GCW, we talked briefly about that. Edith performed in GCW, and we have a GCW stalwart, Kevin Blackwood, coming. This past weekend was GCW's Homecoming weekend. So 2 nights of rock roaring shows, Saturday and Sunday, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Friday night was highlighted by Effie versus Jon Moxley for the GCW title. Now, I know you didn't get a chance to watch these. I didn't actually watch the full shows. I checked out several matches, but I didn't buy the full shows, unfortunately.
Same.
Some really good stuff. Blake Christian. Oh, my God, that guy is. First of all, lay off Blake Christian, internet, okay? Yeah, him and his girlfriend broke up. So what? It happens,
Yeah, now she's dating Braun Breaker. Like, I guess she likes tiny peepees with big muscles. It's fine, dude.
Apparently. Well, anyway, Blake Christian was there. A bunch of stuff happened. I love GCW because I think that people we talked about this in the past, but people make the wrong assumption just because they have a lot of death matches that it's a death match company, right?
Yeah.
They think it's just the same as ICW, which deathmatch has its own place. It does. But
it does.
GCW and Brett Lauderdale's gone so far as saying, no, he wants to give the best of everything he can. He wants to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of deathmatch. And he likes lucha. And that's what I love about GCW. You always get at least one stupid bonkers lucha match in every single show. But the main event was Effie versus Mox. Did you catch any of that?
I did, especially the big kiss by Mox.
The kiss. What about the moment that brought out the bad comparisons online? So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a moment where Moxley is doing a sleeper hold on Effie, And Effie really liked it. Let's just put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. He's like, yeah.
Tongue
Choke
out
me,
and put his-
daddy. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I thought was hilarious. It's like Effie's all about wrestling as a medium for storytelling. If you ever listen to him talk, he really gets into his podcast. He goes about that. He talks about it on his Twitch channel. And that's what he's really, that's what he's about. And he's one of the highest commodities in wrestling because of that, because he's about the story and everything. And of course, I immediately drew a bunch of Joey Ryan, references online. It's like, God damn it. It's like, if you can't recognize and understand why this is funny and different from that son of a bitch, get out of our community. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, let's just move on for those trolls.
Night
like
2,
I'm a troll, but that's a different troll.
Night 2 had a bunch of other great stuff, including Maki Ito in GCW.
Maki Ito!
Oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. She was against Billy Starks. It was a hell of a match, You had Sawyer Wreck, who had herself a weekend. She had a stupid death match Sunday night. Saturday night, I remember she was in a tag match, and the Cartels were on the other side, and her and I can't remember her name, Kaden, Mrs. Cartel, I can't remember her name. Sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry. The guys were doing some stupid shit, so they just literally left the match and went to the bar. So funny. So great. That's another one. Sawyer Wreck. If you haven't checked her out, go give her a follow, because my God, I love me some Sawyer Wreck. She would kick the shit out of me if in real life, and I might like it.
The feminist killjoy, the matriarch of mayhem.
She feels like if China's DNA was being put into a cloning machine, but got ran through a comic book of Tank Girl, that's what we would have got. Because she's a tall woman. She's not as big and beefy, but she's got that kind of wasteland-ish vibe, and she's no nonsense. I love her to death. She had a stellar. If you're into death matches, hers was great. But speaking of death matches, basically, what my opinion is that the main event of the weekend was the Cardonas doing their second wedding, their wedding in front of people, right? So you had Matt and Chelsea, Matt in full Macho Man gear, doing the whole Miss Elizabeth shtick, right? His dad was there. They had all this stuff. You had Blake Christian come in, try to steal the bride in the middle of the thing. Of course, you had Jimmy Lloyd as the ring bearer, which went about as well as you can expect Jimmy Lloyd being a ring bearer to go. Maki made a surprise appearance to, of course, sing L is for the way you looked at to Matt Cardona in the middle of the ceremony. But of course, after it was all said and done, kisses were had. Everybody was like, meh. Here comes Nick fucking Gage and just wrecks everything with the help of Allie Catch, who caked Chelsea and pile drived her. They just beat the living shit. It was wrestling weddings. Never get old. So
never.
Great time at GCW over the weekend, man. And I'll keep singing their praises. I don't care if everyone else is like, I don't really like it. You need to check out some GCW, folks.
Oh, show.
All right. Shall we get to it? Because we got a couple things we really got to get to. I know you've been on pins and needles, Jamie, because you got a bunch of stuff you want to say.
I do. I really do.
See, now you're pushing it, going twice. I mean, I haven't even said a shout out to Ruby Soho. Hey, Ruby. Yeah.
Hey, Ruby.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dynamite. Dynamite from last night. Go. What do you want to start?
If I had to say one word to describe Dynamite, it would be dragons. Actually, it's more like
Yo,
the first
dog,
match.
we heard you like dragons. So we put dragons on top of your dragons in dragons.
Dragonception, people.
Dragons all over the
Dragonception.
place.
You get a dragon. You get a dragon. No chokeouts though, unfortunately. Okay. So AEW starts with a match. Not actually, it's a promo. And I want to get it. I just want to dive right into this.
Go
promo.
into it, because I got lots to say about this, and I don't know if it's gonna be the same thing the same way you're leaning. So start us off.
Okay, so we have CM Punk
Mm-hmm.
dropping some heat, driving some heat, serious heat, saying first he's like, I want Hangman, and Hangman didn't come out. He's like, I expect the apology to be loud, just like the disrespect. It's like somebody's still a little butthurt about what Hanger said about you. Must have been true. And then he starts going into Mox, and Mox, like he's the third best person in his group, and that has followed him through his career.
I love that line. Oh, he was doing volleys on Mox for a solid 2 minutes there, dude.
Like, he was going after him, and then he talked about how in Chicago he's beat another John, and then that like that didn't even help with his ranks of Johns.
He was your best friend, and he's the third best Eddie I've ever faced.
Eddie I've ever wrestled,
and the second best Kingston.
Jesus. So it's like so when he said that, I'm like, wait. So Eddie Guerrero is obviously number one. Who's the second Eddie?
I don't know. I'm
Eddie
trying to
Edwards?
think about. Maybe.
Has he wrestled Eddie Edwards?
I don't know. There's
don't
not
know who
many
the other
Eddies
Eddie
in
is.
wrestling, so
Yeah. So I'm stumped on that, ladies and gentlemen. So if you happen to know who the second Eddie is, put it in the comments or tweet at me
a link to a match video, because
but so then here comes Mox, and Mox comes right at him, and Mox was just honestly kind of throwing it right back at him. I was like, oh, you think you have all this power because you got a mic in your hand. It's just a microphone and blah, blah, blah. His was okay. I thought his funniest thing was like, oh no, CM Punk's dropping pipe bombs, making fun of it, which I thought was probably the best part of that. But at the end of the day, this promo pissed me off.
Okay, why?
You know how I hate the forced feel?
Yeah. You weren't big on that when they were doing Kingston Punk, even though there is history between them.
Yeah, like they're trying to build up super heat in 3 weeks between these two, and you don't need it. Like, this is one of those things, like, It's not needed. Just like how I feel about Rogue One and, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's not needed. You could have set this up without making them some kind of heat between them. Like, are you setting up Punk for to become heel? Because if you are, then I'm on board. But if it's just for the sake of this match, then I am out.
I agree with you on that, because you're 100% right. You put Moxley's face and Punk's face on the billboard, and that's going to sell tickets. Just that alone. You don't need to do that. I disagree with, though, most of this promo I felt was good, because in part you got a little bit of, it's weird because, like you said at the beginning, it wasn't heel Punk, but he was saying heel things.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's not cowboy shit, that's pushy shit, or whatever he said, about, I can't remember, about Hangman.
Coward shit.
That's what it is. And he was kind of, so some of the stuff he was lobbing out there, was done in a heelish way. So I don't think we're ever going to get full heel Punk. I really don't.
I want heel Punk, though. That's the best
I know you
Punk.
do, but it's just in where he is at. He doesn't need to be. I mean, he shows up as they're doing a pre-order of jerseys, of hockey jerseys, CM Punk 1 year anniversary jerseys, and they're going to sell out of those in, I don't know, 3 hours, if that.
Yeah, break the site again.
They don't need to, do that. And I don't necessarily think he needs to have that either. You got enough. I know you hate this. I know we're all about that heel shit, but you got enough heels in this company. Okay.
You do. And this brings me to what I think is happening now.
Okay. Yep. Let me finish my thought real fast. The end of it drove me crazy. That I loved the whole promo up until you had, because I don't get the whole like we're going after each other. We have to have every security guard coming in. We're gonna keep going back. That's great if you're there live. I didn't need to see that for 3 more minutes on my TV. It's like, okay, yes, we understand.
And then again later in the show.
I definitely did not need to see that again later. We could have seen a second women's match instead of that, Tony.
What?
All right. What is
hashtag second women's match? So this is what I think's happening now.
Yeah. Give me your Mark Stradamus.
Mark Stradamus. All Out's already sold out.
Yeah.
So what do you sell? You're selling pay-per-view buys, right?
100%. Get that buy rate up.
So Moxley Punk does sell. Absolutely. Mox Hanger 2 now.
Okay.
Because then you could throw BCC versus JAS in there, because after what happens in the next match, we can get into that. But I really think that the title unification is going to happen. And CM Punk's going to be the outright winner. And he's not going to face Moxley at All Out. It's going to be him and Hanger.
Oh, him and Hanger. You said Mox Hanger too. I was like, okay.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Punk Hanger too.
Gotcha.
Because you can't have Punk not going in Chicago without the belt at this point.
Well, and if you haven't watched the episode, you're not on the internet. This is news to you, I know, but everyone else, you probably know this. They announced later in the night that next week in Cleveland, remember that, is going to be the title unification match. So
interesting.
Did you see that?
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I know. Very interesting. That's why I say I think the title unification is going to happen next week. I think CM Punk's going to win it.
I think it's going to finish and they're going to have a unified title champion by the end of next week's Dynamite.
Yep, and then they're going to move Punk right on to Hanger.
And they dropped that seed at the beginning, so okay.
Exactly. That was my whole thing. Like, if we're going into the world of not needed, that makes a lot of sense then. Because all that heat did not need to happen. You could just built it up and have been fine. Had cordial things between the two. Had quick promos, something like that. Because the amount of promos they had with that and the extra running could have had a second women's match, to your point. But what I'm thinking is this. They're going to do that. Punk's going to win. Insert MJF right there. You're going to have Punk MJF going at it up until Full Gear. And then MJF's going to win the belt.
Ooh.
That's what I'm calling right now.
You're going real deep cut here. So you think MJF's return is going to happen in Chicago?
Fucking A.
Which I can definitely see. I mean, I did the whole Cleveland tease just because they're in Cleveland next week. I don't think we'll see Johnny Gargano next week. But
we'll see him at a WWE ring before we'll see him.
I read on Fightful a little bit earlier that while he has been interested to hear, from WWE, Triple H specifically, he has actually been in talks with the AEW as well. So it's not out that he's going to be back in WWE. We both believe that's probably where he'll end up. Every time anybody's in Cleveland, though, you start to think, is Johnny Gargano going to show up? Because he's ready. I think, physically, he's ready. Anyway, other than that, you don't really have. See, last year we had the privilege to have Ruby Soho, Ruby, Adam Cole, and Bryan Danielson, right? Plus Punk's first match because he just came back, right? There's nobody really big named out there that I can think of that's really available. I mean, Bray Wyatt, maybe, but I don't think you'll see him.
I heard his signing is imminent with WWE.
That makes a lot more sense to me too. Yeah, Bray Wyatt never to me really fit, especially with the path that he'd been going, because he wanted to kind of stay in that dark fiendish world, and that didn't really fit with any. It felt like if it felt like a shoot like a shut like if it felt like too much for AEW. I don't know, just because of the way that they have their storyboarded out. But my point is, you don't really have a big name to debut, do you? And you know Tony's going to want to do something big, at the biggest pay-per-view of the year that they have. MJF, that's pretty fucking big, man. I'm liking that prediction. So,
especially after the whole Fire Me thing.
Yeah. So anyway, title unification next week.
Yep. Then we're going to get into the match of the night. Hands down, 100%. If you think different, shame on you. This match fucked, and it fucked hard.
This was Jamie's wet dream. I knew it from the time it was announced. It's like, oh, yes.
Because the first one was great. Then you had 2 out of 3 falls. Sign me up, especially when you get submissions and stuff.
And there was 0 run-ins by anybody, too.
Totally clean. That was the best part about it, too. That's what made it the match of the night. 100% clean. So, Daniel Garcia wins the first one. Because he put a dragon sleeper on.
And don't forget, the timekeeper is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Dragonception. This is the Dragonception.
You got Bryan Danielson, who's the American Dragon.
Dragon. Or against the Dragon Slayer, Daniel Garcia. So many dragons. So Daniel Garcia gets the first fall with the Dragon Sleeper. But then a quick roll up. Bryan Danielson gets the second one. Then the third one. Oh my God. Like, that part of the match was amazing. It was just violence personified with technical wrestling too. Like, it was just
Daniel Garcia stealing some Bryan Danielson signature moves.
Yes. I'm a huge Daniel Garcia guy. Like,
I like him if he doesn't talk.
You're not
sorry,
wrong.
You're not good on the mic. I'm sorry. Be like Wheeler Yuta. Just don't fucking talk. Just be there.
Yeah. And in a turn of events, Daniel Garcia gets put in the LaBelle lock and he passes out and is unable to respond. Your winner of the 2 out of 3 falls match, Bryan Danielson. And then after that, Bryan gets up, clapping, everything. Everybody's getting hyped for it. And he's like talking about, like, yeah, Daniel Garcia, yeah. And then, like, he goes to shake his hand. Chris Jericho's on commentary doing Chris Jericho things. And then he comes out and he hits Bryan Danielson in the back and, like, just goes after him. And Daniel Garcia at this point comes to and, like, pushes him off. Like, what are you doing? Like, they got in each other's face for a minute. Face turn coming for Daniel Garcia?
It looks like it. And Daniel Garcia in the BCC?
He was one of the names they dropped originally.
He absolutely was. I would like to see them actually go with a female member next, but still.
They dropped 2 names at the very beginning. Do you remember those 2 names?
Daniel Garcia and Darren Martin?
Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, Wheeler Yuta. It was, yeah, okay. Just saying.
Oh.
Because really, the BCC, I mean, Moxley, yes, but Moxley's his own thing. So
he really is.
Of course, you did have Claudio and Yuta come out, because after that match, you had the whole, like, secondary run-in, which I do love. Tony's scheduled for a match, coming to the ring, and gets jumped from behind by Moxley, who just lays him out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moxley.
And then he falls when he hits Sterling, which I thought was even better.
Oh, so smart, Mark.
Poor smart Mark. After that, yeah, so that's what happened after that. Then he had a Chris Jericho thing saying, "Oh, Danny gets a pass," and blah blah blah. Then
Next
Ricky the Dragon, Steve.
Meh.
Yeah, and then Ricky the Dragon's like, he'd be better suited under Bryan Danielson. That's why I really feel like BCC versus JAS is going to happen, and Mox is going to get wrapped into that. So then you could have Hanger Punk. Like it's all like kind of coming together for me a little bit.
Yeah. BCC versus JS with the winner gets is the Daniel Garcia on a pole match.
Daniel Garcia on a pole match, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Garcia on a pole.
With AJ just choking people out ringside. Have you seen her new T-shirt?
Yes. I kind of want it.
I kind of like it. I kind of really want it.
It's comical until it's not comical. Right now it's comical.
We're still we haven't reached the top of that bell yet. We're gonna hit it and we're gonna fall fast.
It's still going up, but it will drop hard. So speaking of the bell curve, here's the start of the drop. But it didn't drop that far for me because I really enjoyed this. You had
I didn't think there was like a really low point of the night. Is my what I would say.
Yeah, because usually you have the super hills and valleys. Like it was more up, down, just a little, up, down, just a little. You know, it was like to Effie and then just under Effie, like that. Not like Effie down to like my chin or my throat.
You need a picture under Effie so we can have a better ranking system there.
Well, as soon as I get my 8x10s in, yes, I have a couple to put up here.
Oh, you still you just ran out of frames. Sorry, we digress. The next match.
All right. So you had the Varsity Blondes, who looked incredibly tan. Good job, boys. Going against the Ass Boys. The Gun Club.
The Ass Boys.
Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn. They made quick work of Varsity Blondes. And then afterwards, this is where it got really good. Here comes Stokely Hathaway. And like, Billy's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Colton and Austin attack their father. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening
to
here?
A big pop. Great. To a big pop in the audience, too.
Because then the Acclaims music hit, and that got a big pop. And then they come out, and they make the save. And then Anthony Bowens.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
Threw up the scissors. Yelled, scissor me, daddy ass. They scissored. Billy Gunn's with the Acclaimed, and all is right in this world.
They did a triple scissor.
Triple scissor.
And I want to give a shout out to Stokely Hathaway because I didn't know what he's doing. He's a man. He's got Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page, the Ass Boys. Now he's making a stable of some sort, and we both are.
He's got Jade Cargill too.
Well, I think the Jade Cargill thing is he's gonna be broke. He's gonna break up. Whenever Jade drops the belt, he's gonna kind of she's gonna kind of do her own thing. Is what I feel. Whatever. I don't know.
You're
but
right.
The point being, because everybody's talked about how good this is for AEW, but you really only seen him as the mouthpiece for Jade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stokely Hathaway making his own little faction, giving him more airtime is good on every level for every show they have. So I want to see what he does with that. Plus, it's a bunch of good young talent. Ethan Page is not necessarily a young talent, but you got Lee Moriarty, the Ass Boys, got him. I think there's another person in there too. So it's like, okay, all right. Stokely Hathaway's cabinet of big strapping boys. I don't know, whatever.
Stokely Hathaway Entertainment. But he's a marketing guy or whatever, so that's his whole thing. So we'll see what happens there. After that, you had the Jungle Boy segment where he challenges Christian to a match at All Out, which absolutely should happen. And then here comes Christian in a beautiful turtleneck.
He's loving turtlenecks in August, man. There you go.
Like, hey, whatever, man. Like, so he comes out and is like, hey, I can fix this. Come home. I was just testing.
Tries to be his father, literally.
Tries to be his father. And then Jungle Boy just beats the living shit out of him. It was quite entertaining for me.
Yeah, that's going to happen at All Out. So we know that. We also had the match announcement. We had dueling promos where asked and then answered. Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt challenged FTR and Wardlow. So in case you were wondering what FTR is doing at All Out, there you go. And So that tells us that either the tag titles are not going to be defended, or there's some other plan for Swerve in Our Glory for All Out. I don't know, but you have FTR and Wardlow. So TNT title also not being defended apparently at All Out, but they accepted for a trios match at All Out. So there's that.
Yeah, I could see the tag team titles going up at some point, but then you'd have to do something quick. Like
they might
gonna
do
be
a tag title match because they got a lot of tag teams that you could put in there, right? Butcher and Blade maybe or something on like the pre-show is what my thought is.
Yeah, but like who's Swerve and them fighting with right now? Nobody.
Private Party, but they go up against them on Friday. That's what I'm saying. A tag team against Swerve in Our Glory on the pre-show, just to have
tag team, and then have them drop it Full Gear to.
Well, they'll drop it Full Gear, or they'll drop it.
FTR.
A Grand Slam might actually be more likely, honestly.
That makes sense. You're right. You're right. I like that. I like it. After this, you had Toni Storm versus Kylan King. Very entertaining match. Other than like when Toni was coming down to the ring, did it seem like she was like emotional? Like her face looked emotional instead of like her mean mug.
Yeah, I don't know what there was a couple segments here with that, and then also when they were showing, because they showed Thunder Rosa behind the stage, behind the scenes, watching it.
Yeah.
In the weird angle, watching the TV thing, which
yeah, I don't get it.
I love when the Young Bucks like shot on that on Being the Elite too. It was great, but she looked really odd watching the TV. Her facial and kind of the way that it held about her, but yeah, it was. I can't really put my finger on it, but you're right. It was odd.
It was a good match. Kylan King's great. I love Kylan King.
So glad to see Kylan King on TV.
Yeah, like I might reach out and see if I can get her on the show.
Get her before she gets signed, because she's
kind of big.
I have a feeling she'll probably be signing a deal. It might be AW. I could really see her in Impact, honest to God.
I could honestly see her going to MLW for a while.
MLW is another for sure. MLW's got stuff going on. So, but regardless, like she's been doing stuff in NWA, I know, and she's all over a bunch of indies. So she's a fantastic, hard-working wrestler. So it was good to see her get airtime. Not a squash match, a good match. It went through a commercial break, like they often do with the women's match. But I still enjoyed it.
Did you hear what they called Toni Storm's hip attack?
I did. I can't remember what it was though. Go.
Sweet Cheeks Music.
Did that hurt you a little bit?
I chuckled for a second. I'm like, oh, that's wrong. That's so wrong. I feel uncomfortable to say it, ladies and gentlemen. But
I mean, she goes to the corner, much like Sean used to go to his corner. She emphasizes a body part
instead of
stopping his foot, so she emphasizes the body part that's going to be used, and then so it's not
weird.
And she's on and she's a Shawn Michaels, childhood fan too, right? So the same sort of
Look
thing.
what she was wearing. Like she was wearing.
Oh, she's very like she's just like Adam Cole, just like Johnny Gargano. There's Shawn Michaels kids, right? That was my guy, right? She is the same way. You were the same way too.
And then she hit her old Storm Zero.
I was happy with that. I was very happy with that. I like that one better.
Storm Zero.
I think it just looks better. That's my only opinion.
It looks cooler. It does look cooler. I mean, I like the quick hitter pile driver in certain circumstances, but like it gives her range now, I think, with her finisher.
Yeah, you can have both. Just like Hanger can do the dead shot, or he can do the buck, just don't call them both the Storm Zero. Storm Zero to me is the original one. The little pile driver, call it something else. Call it the Storm Surge, or call it this
Eye of the Storm.
Storm Stone. Tombstorm.
No. How about only Storms?
She is not the only wrestler on OnlyFans. She might just be making the most money of any wrestlers on OnlyFans.
Oh,
I don't
Scarlett
know.
Bordeaux
I was just gonna say,
kind of
as
cleaned
soon as I
up.
said, I go, well, Scarlett Bordeaux, yeah.
She kind of cleaned up, but she's back in WWE, so who knows if she has it? But they're letting their people have stuff again, so
I know that to me, we didn't talk about WWE. I watched a couple matches here and there. They're good matches. All of a sudden, who knew,
yeah.
right? But yeah, they're letting their people do Twitch and Cameo and other things, and good on
for
you.
them though.
Because there's no reason you should have
Way
ever
to be with the times.
I mean, just come on.
Oh yeah, and in another in sorry Vince news, they found yet another $5 million that was given to a Donald Trump charity.
Oh Jesus! So is that 24 million now?
Yeah, he's over the 20, almost 25 million, almost
Good
25
God! Wow!
million.
Fuck that guy.
Understatement. All right, so then you had your main event, and this main event was pretty solid. I have thoughts though. This had
Worst kept surprise ever. First of all,
oh, I know. You had Roosh, Dragon Lee, who looked awesome. Love me some Dragon Lee.
I have a Dragon League comment coming up here. Don't you worry
Yeah.
about that.
And then Andrade El Idolo versus the Young Bucks and the Omega Man, Kenny Omega.
The best bout machine. Still one of the greatest nicknames ever.
And he was wearing an all black t-shirt, had his
Compression
harness, a compression shirt. He had a long sleeve, that is. And then he had his shoulder brace on over top of that. I'll save my comments about Kenny.
Let's go into Kenny. Why? Let's just go into it.
Okay.
Let's get into Kenny.
I think he's
that's
back way
the big
too
story.
soon.
You know, we'll go ahead.
He's back way too soon. I feel like he did not look good.
He looked rusty as hell. He played it off a little bit. He had a couple good moments though.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you. I don't know if it was right to bring him back.
I mean, he's medically cleared and all, but he ain't ready. There's a difference. Like Kenny Omega has a certain level that we expect out of Kenny Omega, and it's his fault. I'm gonna blame Kenny.
Well,
because he's so goddamn good.
It is, yeah.
He's so goddamn good. And then when he brings it just here, we all flip shit. Which he wasn't even there. He looked slow.
Yeah.
He was out of breath. He couldn't hit some of his moves. His one-winged angel did not look good.
Oh, I think that's because Dragon Lee was literally knocked out and he was carrying dead weight.
Okay.
Which meant the V trigger wasn't done properly.
Yeah. So there's lots of little things going on. Like he did. I feel like they rushed him in because they need him here for All Out. And he said, oh, I'm good. And he got cleared. He says he's good, but homeboy is just not good. Like I'm sorry. Like I love Kenny. I have 2 Kenny Omega shirts. I still think he's arguably the greatest wrestler that's currently active today.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
I feel like he rushed.
I don't know if that's entirely on anybody else too. You know, Kenny is EVP. He wants to be back. You know, he didn't want to be gone for this long, but he had to have like multiple surgeries over multiple body parts, and you know, it's just that realization that you've been beating the shit out of your body for how many years without ever like fixing anything. So I get it, you know, but there were flashes of that Kenny. Right, and some of that I feel might have been him selling because he lost that arm brace halfway through one of the commercial breaks that went over. Arm brace disappeared. He was selling it a little bit, and then he immediately turned in and doing some other moves. He's selling the knee, and then immediately started running back and forth on the. So, I think I'm holding off a little bit of judgment here because part of me thinks that he's selling the shit out of this. The other part to me, because if anybody is talented enough to sell to this level, it's Kenny, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of the matter is, I feel like yes, he wasn't completely ready to come back, and you can maybe do different things to showcase that instead of trying to get him full bore first night out, right?
That's true.
There was a dragon in this match.
There was a dragon, and he looked really good.
The only move that I noted that I really wanted to talk about, they took Kenny, because Kenny is the part where he's selling his knee was not working, and then Jose, the assistant, got involved, and they dragged him out, pulled up the barricade, and placed him straddling on top of the barricade. And then Andrade went and sat in the ropes in between the top rope and the middle rope, making a big opening. And Dragon Lee went and did a full fucking speed, what was supposed to be a tope, turned into a tope doing a full suplex of him on the concrete on the other side. It was one of the most ridiculous. I literally sitting here yelling at my TV screen because it's like, holy shit, car crash moments I've seen in a while. And my God, the crowd reacted the same way because that did not look good, but it looked great.
Yeah, it looked like, ooh, that fucking hurt, but I want to see it again.
That's one of those. That's like the first time I ever saw the Canadian Destroyer. Like, what was that? I need to see more of that.
Yeah, the first time you see one, you're like, oh my God. Like the first time I saw Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer, yes. Yeah, no Lion Tamer.
See one in 2 weeks. Come on, JDX, counting on you, bud. Need to get him back on. Need to see how he's doing.
Yeah, we do. We got to. Now he's in Minnesota. Oh, of course, Kenny Omega and the Bucks won. It's going to be, I think it's pretty apparent it's going to be Bucks versus Dark Order, or Elite versus Dark Order.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they're going to get by. It's probably going to be a Sting interference whenever they have the Dark Order versus House of Black match because, let's be honest, technically no team has any business beating House of Black. So there's got to be some shenanigans afoot.
No. So I see both Sting and Miro making appearances for that match.
Okay. See, I would like to see the Miro part because that would give it a little more credence, I feel, than just having Stang around out there.
And I see a Miro versus Malachi and Julia.
Ooh, do you think CJ is going to show up?
I do. His wife's the only woman allowed to touch him.
She's been definitely more active, which, by the way, if we said this before, if you're not watching Dark and Dark Elevation, it's worth your time at least to pick and choose some matches in there. Go watch Julia's work because she's been doing a lot of stuff on Dark Elevation.
She's got new music and it rocks.
New
music,
fits her. New gear. Oh my God, you could tell that she's been working with Malachi on character work because she is just putting the work in, and it. Not only just her character work, but her in-ring skills, her skill set, kind of her move set, excuse me. It's fantastic.
Super good.
I have hope for the women's division. I really do. I have hope.
Yeah, they just on Dark Elevation, they had Abaddon wrestle for the first time in forever, and she looked amazing. I'd love to see her in a Journey for a ring
match to watch.
Yeah, it was great. And she was going against Mafioso, who I've never seen before. She was awesome. Wow, that girl sold the hell out of that stuff for her. So, dude, I'm in. So in.
And after the match, of course, you had Andrade and Roosh. Roosh is Dragon Lee's brother. They turn on Dragon Lee and rip his mask off because that's their thing, is demasking luchadors. And okay. But it was so crammed to the end, and then it was like, okay, what's the point of that? There was obviously some story to that they were going to tell, but the TV cut off. So it's like, bah.
Yeah, it's like, and tune in next week, folks, as we pick up where we left off. Yeah, no.
So, okay, thoughts on Kenny's return. Do you think that, is this just bad ring rust, bad first time out, or do you feel like this is going to be a detriment to him moving forward?
I'm really hoping it's just ring rust because I love Kenny Omega. And I am praying that it's just ring rust. He's only going to get better. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass, though I think he came back too soon.
Okay. Yep.
You?
And I'm with you. I think he was selling more than what we were giving him credit for. Honest to God. So
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Well, to me, I feel like that's a good storyline they can kind of go with too. It allows a little bit of, because if he's selling a lot of this stuff here, it gives him the ability to knock some of that rust off by not having to pull as much weight in these matches. So,
that's true.
We'll see. Next week you got Death Triangle versus United Empire. Talk about a banger show. And no theme name for next week's Dynamite. At least not yet.
2 in a row. What is this?
Oh, this one was Dynamite brought to you by House of Dragons.
Maybe this will be brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Yeah. But you got the title unification match. Plus you've got that trios match. And that's all I really need in my life. I mean, a couple women's matches would be nice. But yes.
Yours can't be choosers. I'll take
Tony Storm officially is challenging Thunder Rosa at All Out as well. They announced that.
Shocker.
Do you think Rosa's going to drop the belt?
Kind of feel like it.
I kind of don't. I think she'll drop the belt in New York to Britt. I think that's wrong, but that's what my gut's telling me right now.
I would much rather see Tony and Britt feud, personally, because I've already seen Tony.
Like,
and
you
Thunder,
can always
and we
come
can always
back
go back
to Britt Rosa.
Always come back. Yeah, you can always go to Britt and Thunder. You always can do that.
Yeah.
Tony and Britt, I like that. I like that a lot.
See, I would like that. Then I would actually like to see, because she's opened this door up a little bit. I know I'm going to mark it out for a second, but hey, we got to listen to 13 Lion Tamer chants every goddamn week. I would like to see if you go to that path there, which I like. I'm there with you on that. Cool. I'd see after Britt, you have Ruby kind of step into that place, and you could you've started to turn Ruby with this whole Eddie Kingston's like family thing here. You've turned her a little bit harder, right? She's not just a happy-go-lucky fun Ruby all the time, right? You can take that a step further, right? And she can have her be the more bitter, angry Ruby, which was the best, I feel, was my favorite version of her on the main roster in WWE.
I agree.
When she was like feuding with Natalia and like crushing, Anvil's sunglasses the week after his funeral and shit. I mean, like we just saw that live in Kansas City. She did the whole like fake apology, and that smile got so much heat. It was great. I think you go down that path. I think you've got Athena locked in to be the one to take the belt off of Jade, I believe. But then you've got Jade, you more or less are making two kind of silos for the women. You got those who are kind of in that area for the TBS, and then you've got like the ones who are in the silo for like the main title, So that's, you give us our thoughts. What do you guys fantasy book for us a little bit? We do enough, especially the guy to my right over here. We do enough fantasy booking.
That's me, folks.
Give us some thoughts though. What do you think about the women's title? What do you think about the trios? What do you think about Kenny Omega? Is this, I also Kenny Alfonso. What do you think about Kenny Alfonso? Like, let's fantasy book his ass. Shit.
So I will say this though, if they do give us Athena Jade at All Out like they should, and Athena wins, then Rose is gonna retain.
They won't drop both women's belts, so I'm with you. I think they might do that before All Out, is my thought.
Really?
Well, because here's the thing. They're selling the living piss out of, they're in Chicago for a week. You said it already. Can you get tickets for All Out? You sure can. Secondhand market if you want to like mortgage something. But sold out of tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to sell tickets for? Rampage and Dynamite, right? So
good point.
Plus,
valid point.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, I know it's not going to be this, but I'd like to see Tony have a little bit of restraint with the number of matches he books for pay-per-views. So, whatever.
We'll see.
Okay.
We
Any
shall
final
see.
thoughts?
I thoroughly enjoyed this Dynamite brought to you by House of Dragons coming out Sunday.
Are you excited for House of Dragons?
I actually am.
I'm really interested to see which way we go here.
Because if they go the first 3.5 seasons of Game of Thrones, I'm in. If it's the last 2.5, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, okay. Let me state this. So I was listening into. So I follow along on YouTube still, even though it's not what it used to be. But on Up, Up, Down, Down, they're doing the battle of the brands again between Breeze and Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, right? Which is by far, if you've never watched any of that chemistry, it's gloriousness. These two, the two petulant children. Stop touching me! Stop touching me! It's great. But they bullshit a lot when they're doing their shootings, and they're talking about that because recently, Breeze was talking about that because he had never seen any of Game of Thrones, right? So him and his girlfriend sat down. They watched over the course of a month, which is a bit much considering how much it is. They watched the entire series, right? In their free time. And he said he never watched any of it before. He caught pieces here and there, right? People said, seen this, seen that. He knew a few of the big sticking points, but he never watched it. So they watched it from beginning to end. And he said maybe it's because he was disconnected from it, maybe this, but he didn't understand, everybody's I think it's because we were so invested in it as a weekly thing. Right, we were disappointed by the way it went, much like Walking Dead. Right, same thing. It's now I took his advice and I actually have all the seasons, so I went and watched the 6th season a couple weekends ago. It's not nearly as bad as I originally thought. Honest to God, when you take it back, I know there's you have big problems with the two main characters and especially the way they ended it. But. I don't know. Well, this is it's interesting to see. Is this going to be Better Call Saul level prequel, or is this going to be the Phantom Menace level prequel?
Hopefully, Better Call Saul, because Better Call Saul is amazing. It's really good.
Well, we could talk about TV and movies forever, so we're gonna make a sharp turn here and right to that dead end. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you. Keep an eye out. We got some interviews coming up here. We should have one next week. Keep an eye out. Easiest way, follow us on Twitter or hit the subscribe button if you're on here. That way you'll know when you can hit the bell too. You'll know when we get new interviews out there. We're back every Thursday though, either way. So next week, let's see. Do they actually unify the titles? And how much of a banger is Death Triangle versus UE? It's going to be a big one, but how big? So,
right.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Down Total Spotfest, I got 4 words for you. Scissor me, daddy ass.
One of these days, we're going to learn which side the other person's on. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.